Okay, it is Tuesday, March 25th, 2025, and I will be calling to order our regular council meeting for the township of Nipigon. We'll start with our land acknowledgement. In the spirit of reconciliation, the corporation of the township of Nipigon respectfully acknowledges it is located on the traditional lands of the Red Rock Indian men, signatory to the Robinson Superior Treaty of 1850. And the township further respectfully acknowledges the historic presence of other signatories on these lands. All right, down to item number 1, any addendum to the agenda? Seeing none, we'll move on to number 2, disclosure of pecuniary interest. Are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest tonight? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to item number 3, approval of previous committee minutes. March 11th is the 2025, March 11, 2025 regular meeting, and March 18th, 2025 special meeting for public works matters. Anybody have any comments about either of those minutes? Okay, who would like to move the minutes? Councilor Cartwright, and who would like to second that? Councilor Harper. So this is resolution 2025-082, moved by Councilor Cartwright, seconded by Councilor Harper. Be it resolved that this council approves the regular meeting minutes from March 11th, 2025, and the special meeting public works minutes from March 18th, 2025 as presented. All in favor? Opposed? And carried. Okay, next we have number 4A, finance approval of payment vouchers. Who would like to move this resolution? Councilor Harper. And second, Councilor Hart. This is resolution 2025-083, moved by Councilor Harper, seconded by Councilor Hart. Be it resolved that the payment of accounts as listed on the following payment vouchers are authorized, confirmed, and approved. Payment voucher number 11, 2025, in the amount of $31,164.68, and payment voucher number 12, 2025, in the amount of $218,902.37. All in favor? Opposed? And carried. You need another pen?
Yes.
Let me know if you have find it. Having a problem earlier. Okay, next we have number 5, council business. A, CAO report 2025-03-25-1. Sanitation sewer charges. So, you want to just CAO, do you want to just talk a little bit about what's summarize a little bit about what you're proposing here?
Sure. Thank you, Mayor. So, Mayor and Council, the proposal here is to, over the long term, eventually take the special area taxation rate that specific people pay, primarily with right in the town core of Nipigon, and transfer that over to the sewer and water bills. So the purpose of the proposal here is to add the individuals and the properties that are currently exempt from taxation to be added in to be charging sewer fees on top of their water bill. And it's a very similar thing that other communities have gone to. So everybody's essentially paying that sewer based on what they are for water. So in this scenario, I'd be recommending as a phase-in as of July 1st of 2025 that it's instead of going the full amount, which would be in the high 30s, we'll start out at 20%. And then that'll be fully moved over as of January 1st, 2026 for all properties. So at this point, we still need to do a bit of looking of how that's going to impact everybody. So that 30 to 40%, we don't know what it's going to be for residents or for businesses. But in the meantime, we can add this in, and then we would do a full report for council with the new proposed water bill bylaw.
Okay, thank you. Lars, does anyone have any questions about this recommendation? I think it's a really good idea. Like you said, many other communities do this, and also, like you said, there are some resident, like not residents, but building owners who don't pay taxes. People don't know that, like schools, like you were saying, but that means they also don't pay the sanitation or the sewage, right? Because that's rolled in with our property taxes.
Mhm.
So this means they're paying for that service that they're using.
Mhm.
The hospital, the churches, as well as schools,
Yep.
yeah. So seeing as these services are very expensive to continue, and they're required services, obviously, we need sewer, we need water. So it's important that we have revenue that will help us to keep those services going, especially those buildings that do use those services. Okay, who would like to move this resolution? Okay, Councilor Cartwright, first receiver, would like the second? Councilor Cartwright, here we go. All right, so this is resolution 2025-084. Moved by Councilor Westhaver, second by Councilor Cartwright. Be resolved that council receives staff report 2025-2501 as presented and directs staff to draft a bylaw to amend the existing water rates and fees bylaw number 1951 to add a 20% sewer charge for all properties that do not currently pay any sanitation taxes on their property tax bill. And that said amendment, subject to council approval, would come into effect July 1st, 2025. And that staff are directed to draft a report with information on transferring sanitation costs from property tax bills under the special area rate to a line item on the township's quarterly water bills, which would come into effect January 1st, 2026, subject to final council approval. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay, next, there's a draft bylaw here in regards to authorization of payments and financial accountability policy. So this is just so that, and just correct me if I'm wrong here, Dale Moffett, but this is something that will give administration the ability to pay bills and invoices and things like that faster to avoid late charges, which is something that we don't get a lot of late charges, but it does happen, right? So any money that we can save is good. So yeah. Does anybody have any questions about this draft bylaw? Yeah, Councilor Westhaver, go ahead.
No, I'm just wondering if we could do it every week, like every meeting, so Public Works will do finances and council meeting will do finances, so it's done once a week.
So maybe CEO, you can just explain a little bit more about what this bylaw is doing.
So in this policy, it's kind of on top of what's existing right now, as we just did the purchasing and procurement bylaw with the township. Just because I'll turn it off. So so with the new procurement and purchasing bylaw already authorizes staff to purchase things based on the budget that they've already been allocated or the authorizations that they've been given. So in this new scenario, we were already authorized to purchase anyways, and the payments were just a check by council. So that would still happen. We would just have two councilors come in when a pay run is ready. So that might be on a Friday and a weekly. So we would request two members of council to come in and sign
Oh, okay.
as to give a bit more flexibility. So it doesn't have to happen on the meetings. And then in that scenario, we would still provide for financial transparency. We would actually kind of go a bit more into detail of where the expenditures are going. So we'd be providing quarterly expenditure reports to council as well. to see where their variances are and where money's being spent, so.
I just, I like the area two, in this bylaw about fraud prevention. The township will implement anti-fraud measures such as periodic training for staff on fraud awareness, cyber fraud, and maintaining a fraud reporting mechanism. All of that is very important, so there's a whole section here on fraud prevention, which, is really, really good for us to have, so. Okay, who would like to move this resolution for this bylaw? Counselor Cartwright. And seconded. Counselor Hart. So this is resolution 2025-085, moved by Counselor Cartwright, seconded by Counselor Hart. Be it resolved that council gives 3 readings and approves bylaw number 1974, being a bylaw to establish a policy related to the processing of payments, signing authorities, and to establish a policy ensuring financial accountability. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Actually, I just want to say too, while I'm filling this out, that this will be helpful in the summertime. We only have meetings once per month. And we have lots of those in summers with all the construction happening and everything, so it'll be helpful. We want to make sure that our suppliers and service providers are being paid on time.
Make sure someone's available.
Yeah, that's right. Someone should always be available, at least 2, I guess. Okay. So continuing with council business, this is item C, Nipigon OPP detachment 2025 draft budget and levy. I'm not sure if I moved this to that.
No.
I don't think so.
No.
No. Oh, there's the honorarium. No. Okay, so, it's basically just, the minutes from the first, or not the first, this is your second meeting now, right? We also have, a proposed 2025 draft budget for the Nipigon OPP Detachment Board 2, which includes insurance, $3,900 in insurance. That's yeah, director's insurance rate for the board members. On your annual honorariums, memberships, sundries for a total of $6,585 per year. And Nipigon's share of that is 40%. I imagine that it's based on population.
Yep. Yep.
Does anyone have any questions for Councillor Cartwright in regards to the minutes for the OPP board? Do you have any comments, in regard about this? No, no, good. Okay, so we're gonna. We have a resolution here to accept the proposed draft budget. Who would like to move this resolution? Councillor Hart, and then seconded by Councillor Westhaver. This is resolution 2025-086, moved by Councillor Hart, seconded by Councillor Westhaver. Be it resolved that council accepts the Nipigon OPP Detachment Board 2 proposed 2025 draft budget, including the Township of Nipigon's 2025 annual levy at $2,634. All in favor? Opposed? And carried. Okay, so going to sundries, we have the Nipigon District OPP Board meeting minutes, which we just looked at, and no one has any comments or questions on that. We also have item 6B, which are the Thunder Bay DSAB February 25th, 2025 regular meeting minutes. Those are just for information. Does anyone have any comments on these at all?
No.
Not usually too much detail in those, it's mostly for the folks that attend those meetings that are. That have the details, but nothing. Nothing out of the ordinary or new there. Next we have the Thunder Bay District Health Unit meeting minutes from February 19th, 2025. Again, those are just for information. Does anybody have any comments on those? Okay. And item 6B, Ministry of Natural Resources Annual Work Schedules and Forest Management Operations. Again, this is just for our information. Anyone have any comments? I don't think we're in an area that's involved, we're close, that's probably why we've been given a notice, but. Yeah, we're just outside of the Black Spruce Forest there, that's.
Dorian.
Okay, any comments? Okay. All right, and next 7A Cemetery, January 16th, 2025, the Cemetery Committee minutes. These are for our information. Does anyone have any questions, comments?
I have some.
Councilor Harper?
In regards to, the new, we're looking for a new graveyard.
Mhm.
The town has been down this path already. I'm pretty sure something down Senator's Road. This was made, it was cleared, marked out maybe even, and I'm pretty sure it had a fence around it. That was supposed to be our cemetery. But then they changed the rules on the cemetery where you could bury more than one person, you know, like dual internments and then also the ashes and stuff. So, and I think at that time, some of the plots were given back from the Legion. The Legion had like so many reserved plots or whatever at that time. So that alleviated the need for the new graveyard at the time, but maybe we could at least look into there. I don't know if we still own that property or not, or, you know.
Yeah, that property was,
Okay, I don't know, I'm just going by the old graveyard, so.
that property was sold, and this is actually the meeting before last meeting, we had minutes of the last meeting, haven't been approved yet. We kind of tabled that, we're looking at the, right now, because the amount of people that are actually having, full burial. Full burials. People that are still having full burials, very urgent, I think it maybe last year, and
Yeah.
so the
Yeah,
amount
I
of,
checked those stats.
and making it so that you can have up to 8 cremains. You know, we won't be looking at immediately at a new.
I just thought maybe nobody forgot.
No, we didn't forget about the land on Settlers Road, that land was
But we sold
sold.
it and everything. so,
Yeah.
I thought maybe it was still sitting there or something.
No,
I remember it being cleared.
Okay, that's all I know.
Yeah, just looking to that forward vision. It's not an immediate need, but it's always good to.
Mhm.
Look ahead to that kind of thing.
Do we have anything?
Well, that in here, it's it mentioned the golf course road, property on the golf course road. So, do you know if maybe we should defer that to the public works meeting and Taylor can give us an update on that? Or do you have an update?
Nothing as of yet, no. There's a portion of the golf course property that's on the other side of the road. And it's just over an acre or so, so we were looking at that as kind of a smaller location. Yep.
And it's the wrong time. Yeah, and it's the wrong time of year to be looking at the land. She is going to do the Angel Falls walk. The Angel Falls Trail and see if we can expand. Yeah, that way.
Yeah, so maybe if she can give us an update at the next public works meeting if she has a chance to do that walk Angel Trail and see if there's any area over there.
That's something to do.
And Councilor Harper, go ahead.
What about sharing this again? Like Red Rock, like all these people are using services, I don't think everyone should have to pay for it. You know, it's a matter of fairness and everything. There's quite a few Red Rock people buried in that dump, and I, or in the dump. All right, I'm thinking of the dumping, but anyways, in the graveyard,
I know what you mean.
yeah.
I know
and
what you meant.
It's just a matter of fairness where, we just can't buy a plot, and if you
Yeah.
can subsidize that by significant dollars, and it needs to be a shared service.
Especially if we have to relocate.
Yeah, I think, that's a good point for sure, and, I think, Taylor will be talking to administration or, staff over there about the potential of sharing the cost of the new, if we do have a new area of Forest Roads, we'll get that eventually.
I have another question.
Yeah, go ahead, Counselor Weshaver.
I'm just wondering, what is the cost of a plot right now? Do we know that?
Not off the top of my head, no.
I've been
It
there
would-
for 20 years and I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Counselor Cartwright is thinking about $500, but she's not sure.
Red Rock pays more. Do they?
Yeah,
Yeah,
anybody,
Red Rock
and
pays
it's,
more.
it's cheaper for locals.
Okay.
So that.
We should still look at the cost of sharing it, but
Just to note in case the people online didn't hear, the cost for a Nipigon resident to purchase a plot at our cemetery is less than this from someone from out of town. So that's all. So, there's a few action items on here, for the public works superintendent, as I said, to walk Angel Trail and investigate the northeast corner of the current cemetery to determine expansion to the area is feasible. Looking into the 2023 versus the 2024 stats and overall 5-year stats to determine any trends. And then, one of the members of Clearwater will be looking at writing an article for the newspaper in regards to the new columbarium, just to let people know that it's available as well. Action items on those minutes. Okay, and again, that was for information, so we don't have a resolution there to accept those. Okay, so looking to, we do the, Lars, we do the resolution for the to accept all of the minutes after, or all of the proceedings after the closed session,
Mhm.
or?
Yep,
Okay.
yep. Yeah, now it's just open,
Okay.
new business.
Okay,
Yep.
so any other business? So we'll start on the right here with Counselor Hart. Do you have any other business to bring up? Not currently. Okay, Counselor Cartwright. Okay, Counselor Weshaver.
I need, but Lars did answer my question.
Okay, Counselor Harper. And Lars, do you have anything?
Yeah, Mayor, Council, just a quick, I guess, check in here. So as we've done quite a few of the public works meetings recently, they've kind of shrank in timeline. Because we kind of get through a lot of the weeds in the backlog early in the fall and now into the winter. Is there any interest of council adding that section back into the meeting? And having it kind of more of a, like, still formal with the report?
Mhm.
Or do you still want to keep it separate?
Well, in my opinion, just because it is a public council meeting at this point, that it's run the same as because of the quorum of council, so that's why we are now running it as a council meeting. So that being said, they're happening pretty quick. It's basically just updates from Taylor. So would she then be attending our council meetings and just answering questions if we rolled it into the council meeting, the regular council meeting?
Yeah, the plan would be at least once a month that she would be attending, so the same as before, but that would allow us to potentially do bi-weekly updates too if we need to. Or do once a month, kind of whenever it's needed, so.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, because then it's more than once a month, and then in the summertime, we still get that, there's once a month, meetings updates, and so. Public works, 'cause I think in the summertime, we don't normally review public works meetings.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, you guys are okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay, I just have one thing. I want to congratulate the U18 Nipton Elks girls for winning the gold medal in Ottawa this weekend.
Yeah.
It was pretty special. I was there because my daughter is on the team. There was 18 teams in the tournament. And on the last day, they played 3 games, which is exhausting, an exhausting day of hockey, and they still came out on top. And so I just want to congratulate them, and I want to congratulate the coaches, Alyssa Ray and Shannon Moffett, and the managers, Shannon Jean and Jen Johnson. This is the 3rd year of the girls hockey program, and it's grown, and it's really wonderful to see there's girls from Long Lac, Schreiber, and Marathon, as well as our regular Michigan Red Rock Dorning girls. And without the Elks program, those girls wouldn't be playing hockey. So it's really, it's great to see, and I just want to congratulate.
How many girls are on there? The picture looks huge.
There are 22 girls registered, but there were 19 that went down to the tournament. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so with that, we will enter into closed session. So who would like to moving into closed session? Counselor Harper. Who would like to second that? Counselor Cartwright. Resolution 2025-087, moved by Counselor Harper, seconded by Counselor Cartwright. Be it resolved that this council now resolve into closed session at 7:26 p.m. Under section 239 of the Authority of the Municipal Act 2001 to discuss personal matters about an identifiable individual, labor relations or employee negotiations, advice that is client solicitor privilege, and information supplied in confidence by a third party. All in favor? Opposed? And carried. Okay, and who would like to move this resolution to go back into open session? Counselor Harper, who would like to second it? Counselor Westhaven. So this is resolution 2025-08, moved by Counselor Harper, seconded by Counselor Westhaven. Be it resolved that this meeting resolved into an open session at 8:08 p.m. All in favor? Opposed? And carried. All right, so this is for the CEO to proceed as authorized in camera. Who would like to move that resolution? This is to direct the CAO to move forward as authorized, as directed in camera. Counselor Cartwright, seconded by Counselor Hart. So resolution 2025-089, moved by Counselor Cartwright, seconded by Counselor Hart. Be it resolved that the Chief Administrative Officer is authorized to proceed as directed in the in-camera closed session and approves the in-camera meeting minutes from March 11th, 2025 and March 18th, 2025. All in favor? Opposed? And carried. Oops. Okay, and this is what we do every council meeting, just to but everything that we're moving forward here is by law. And how do you say that? The actions of the meeting held prior to March 25th, 2025 are confirmed. Sorry, that's the word I'm looking for. Who would like to move this? Councilor Westhaven. Two more in there, actually.
Yeah, we're all.
Starting to get confused. Counselor Cartwright. The resolution 2025-090, moved by Counselor Westhaven, seconded by Counselor Cartwright. Be it resolved that this council gives 3 readings and approves bylaw number 1975, being a bylaw to confirm the actions of the meetings held on and prior to March 25th, 2025. All in favor? Opposed? Carried? Okay, we have one more resolution here to close the meeting. Who would like to move this one? I know Mr. Hart never wants to go home, but he's gonna. All right, who wants to second? Okay, you want to go home? Okay. So, resolution 2025-091, moved by Counselor Hart, seconded by Counselor Cartwright. This council meeting adjourns at 8:10 p.m. to meet on April 8th, 2025 for the next regular council meeting or at the call of the mayor. All in favor? Opposed? And carried. Thank you, everybody.